So Trump finally did it. He attacked Venezuela and he removed a communist dictator. I know the left wing media wants to spin it like, oh, he was such a good guy. Why would we go in there and do this? Anything they can do to gain their little points, you know what I mean? But no, this guy was basically as crooked and corrupt as it gets, and Trump went in there and it's game over, folks. So let's go ahead and see what happened here. These are compilation of the strikes.
In the early hours of Saturday morning, Venezuela's capital was rocked by explosions. And now, U.S. officials are confirming a major escalation. According to CBS News, U.S. President Donald Trump ordered strikes on sites inside Venezuela, including military facilities, as Washington sharply intensified its campaign against the government of President Nicolás Maduro. Sources tell CBS News the Trump administration is aware of reports of explosions and aircraft over Caracas. But as of now, there has been no official public comment from the White House. On the ground, the situation appears chaotic. Eyewitness videos and journalist reports describe missile-like strikes, low-flying aircraft, and power outages across parts of the capital. Colombia's president, Gustavo Petro, issued an urgent warning to the world. He said, "Right now, they are bombing Caracas. They are bombing with missiles. The OAS and the UN must meet immediately."
Ain't gonna do nothing, bro. You don't want the smoke. You better chill out, Gustavo. You don't know what you're up against, Gustavi. I gotta just say something too, man. Like I found this video and I liked like the clips and all this stuff, but it's like this guy put on the title Rothschild's US Marines go in and invade uh Venezuela and using Trump as a puppet. Dude, you got it so backwards. Like you have it completely backwards. Okay? The puppet is Maduro. He's a crooked puppet, drug dealer, drug lord. You have it backwards, moron. So tired of these people.
The U.S. military has acknowledged reports of explosions in Caracas, but a Pentagon spokesperson refused to confirm or deny any American involvement, according to the New York Times. Witnesses reported activity at least 6 sites, including areas near Fort Tuna Army Base, La Carota Air Base, the 23 de Enero neighborhood, and in the vicinity of Miraflores Palace, the presidential residence. Venezuelan Defense Minister Diosdado Cabello's home at Fort Tuna Base was reportedly hit by shelling. Meanwhile, unverified footage circulating online shows Venezuelan forces detaining residents near the presidential palace as armored vehicles and tanks reportedly move toward the seat of power. In other videos, still unconfirmed, locals are heard screaming, "The Marines! The Marines have arrived!" Additional footage claims to show American forces storming Venezuelan ports and what appears to be U.S. Air Force strikes on Venezuelan.
Just in case people want to try to brainwash you with the left-wing media, you know who Maduro is? Maduro is a guy that Trump wanted to try to do things the nice way. But the problem with the Maduro guy is that he does deals and the money doesn't go to the country. He keeps all the money. He doesn't care if the people starve, don't have work, live like crap, are eating a damn shoe for lunch. Okay? This is the type of person you're dealing with. The guy doesn't want to help nobody. All he wants to do is make himself rich and powerful. He's a greedy, he's the definition of a sociopath, psychopath with like no empathy. Okay? Just so you, oh, they shouldn't have did this, poor guy. This is not right, dude. That guy's lucky he didn't get shot 14 times in the head, dude.
Army bases.
I believe that a few minutes before 2 a.m., at least in the part of Caracas where I live, which is downtown Caracas, the electricity went down and immediately explosions
So the best thing
and
that ever happened to you, bro.
aircraft noise was, I hear that. And a few minutes later, I managed to dress up and go outside, and we have been reporting live since that moment.
As the videos spread, Caracas remains tense and the international community scrambling to respond.
International
This would mark the
community
most
seems
direct
stuck
U.S.
up
military
big fat
action on
anymore.
Venezuelan soil in decades, following months of threats, naval deployments, and strikes tied to alleged drug trafficking networks.
It's just past 3 a.m. in Caracas, the Venezuelan capital. It's been about half an hour since we heard the latest explosions. That neighborhood of the city is now without power. That is an entire neighborhood of the city. We're still hearing drones, American jets in the air, presumably American jets in the air over the city. They're circling. They're still circling. But again, it's been quiet for about half an hour. Before that, it was explosion after explosion, dozens of blasts targeting again the western outskirts of the city. We filmed several of those explosions. It's relatively quiet now. We aren't hearing sirens or anything such, but we know that these strikes, presumably by the United States, haven't just targeted this Caracas, but also La Guaira, for example, the coastal cities, port infrastructure, the airport that serves Caracas, about 10-15 kilometers to the north of us, about a half-hour drive, again along the coast of Venezuela. There was no warning, neither from the United States nor from the Venezuelan government. The day before yesterday,
Let me give you another update on Maduro. Maduro lost the last election by 70%. And you know what he did? He went in there and changed all the numbers because he's a corrupt dictator. And then I scroll through YouTube and I see this guy put a post. People are protesting because they were pro Maduro. Dude, those people are as happy as you can get. Quit lying already. Okay, I have friends that are Venezuelan. These people hate this guy. This guy's Fidel Castro Part 2. Wake up already, you feeble-minded little scrubs. God, people are disgusting.
Venezuelans were celebrating the new year yesterday evening, 5 hours ago. The city was filled with families out, couples in restaurants, cafes, in parks, enjoying the night, enjoying the evening. And at 2 a.m., almost precisely, blast after blast began targeting the Venezuelan capital. Woke us up, woke the whole city up. There's been no confirmation yet, neither from the United States
Best thing that ever happened,
or from the Venezuelan government, about what these strikes targeted. Fatalities, perhaps casualties, civilians or otherwise, in the capital, to the north of the capital, along the coast. But again, American jets remain airborne over the city.
a lot of people talk all this crap. Oh, Trump is this and Trump is that and Trump is so bad. Dude, this guy's actually bad. Do you know how many people Maduro has killed? And you guys are worried about Trump. Trump hasn't killed nobody, bro. Except for probably in war missions, things like that, for a just cause. There's a difference. This guy will kill you for $1 million or put you in jail as a political, but this guy's a tyrant. Understand the difference. Okay? The time for thinking like a 16-year-old has to stop eventually. Yeah. Grab your sandals. Grab your sandals, sweetie.
This is the exact moment when back-to-back explosions tore through the dead of the night silence in Venezuela. The night sky turned red amid the roars of fighter jets. A plume of smoke grips the skyline of Caracas, triggering fires on the hillsides. Around 2 a.m. in the morning on Saturday, low-flying aircraft were heard hovering around the Venezuelan capital, Caracas. RT News reported that Chinook helicopters were seen overhead Caracas. The footage shared by the Associated Press showed people in various neighborhoods rushed to the streets. Some could be seen in the distance from various areas of Caracas. Higuerote Airport in Venezuela's Miranda state was also reportedly attacked. Massive explosions triggering flames indicate that a military installation of Venezuela was hit. The fire suggests a strike against a surface-to-air missile launcher with the Venezuelan Air Force. Multiple explosions, flames, and smoke were seen emanating from the port of La Guaira, just to the north of Caracas. RT News footage shared smokes and fireballs emanating from the city. Another video showed non-stop explosions, triggering fears in residents. Civilians driving through Caracas recorded that airstrikes erupting all around the capital city. If RT News reports are to be believed, the entire U.S. Air Force cut transponders during the attack. It is a vital electronic device that automatically replies to radar signals from air traffic control, ATC, or other aircraft. A U.S. Stratotanker reportedly refueled strike fighters to bomb Venezuela. Reports say the U.S. military hit Venezuelan defense headquarters.
And you mess around and you find out Trump gave him 1,000,000 chances. Oh no, because I'm this big tough guy and I got a mustache and I think I'm this, that, and the other. He's like, are you sure you don't want to do a deal? You sure you don't want to, Oh no, because we don't. Dude, I'm so glad this happened. It needs to happen to a few other places.
Explosions and smoke can be seen near Fort Tiuna, which is home to the Venezuelan Ministry of Defense. This video reportedly suggests that Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and his troops fled the presidential palace and defense ministry. Panic and chaos erupting on the streets of Caracas following the strikes can also be seen.
So there you have it, guys. When you mess around, you find out. Okay? Like, that's the bottom line.
And we appreciate you being here. Late last night and early today, at my direction, the United States Armed Forces conducted an extraordinary military operation in the capital of Venezuela. Overwhelming American military power, air, land, and sea, was used to launch a spectacular assault.
I will say this real quick, because Trump seems out of breath. He needs to stop drinking that stupid Diet Coke that has aspartame in it, because that destroys people. It's a known poison that is basically spread all over the United States like candy. Stop eating the processed garbage. I eat KFC, I eat McDonald's. Okay, but that's going to just slow you down. Can't afford to be slow right now. You got to do light exercise. You got to, whatever it is you want to do, golf ain't going to cut it. You got to play a little bit of tennis. You got to swim a little. Okay, get the oxygenation throughout your body. Go see a doctor to take all the heavy metal poisons out of you, because you've gotten a bunch of different VAXs. Okay, clean your system, eat healthy, exercise, and make sure you surround yourself with the right people, because we're living in dangerous times, folks.
And it was an assault like people have not seen since World War II. It was a force against a heavily fortified military fortress in the heart of Caracas to bring outlaw dictator Nicolás Maduro to justice. This was one of the most stunning.
People will say, oh, he's not an outlaw. That's exactly what he is. An outlaw dictator was not chosen by the people, steals elections, threatens people, locks people up as political prisoners, steals all the money of the country, and is a drug lord on top of it. Don't give me this crap that this guy is oh, we shouldn't have done that. Shut up. Okay? Trash.
Effective and powerful displays of American military might and competence in American history. And if you think about it, we've done some other good ones like the attack on Soleimani, the attack on al-Baghdadi, and the obliteration and decimation of the Iran nuclear sites just recently in an operation known as...
And you also notice that Khomeini's missing in action. So Trump is really stepping it up here, folks, because I think there's stuff going on behind the scenes that isn't really being released.
Midnight hammer, all perfectly executed and done. No nation in the world could achieve what America achieved yesterday, or frankly, in just a short period of time. All Venezuelan military capacities were rendered powerless as the men and women of our military, working with U.S. law enforcement, successfully captured Maduro in the dead of night. It was dark. The lights of Caracas were largely turned off due to a certain
mission
expertise that we have.
Right.
It was dark.
So that was the strike. They cut all the lights off. They hit various key points where all the planes are at, or that's why you saw all those multiple hits, and you can't really see what's going on because we don't have like the real footage yet. I'm sure the footage is out there. I can probably get it from somebody. I gotta grab it. I don't know if you can show that on here though. But those soldiers go in with cams, and then you can put all the different cam footage together, and then you can see like the ground footage, like POV, point of view. But yeah, they crippled them. And you can't use your tanks. You can't do this. You can't fly the plane. They hit all the where you going? You ain't going nowhere. And the lights are cut off. Good luck.
It was deadly. But captured along with his wife, Celia Flores.
Silly ass Flores.
Both of whom now face American justice. Maduro and Flores have been indicted in the Southern District of New York. It's Jay Clayton, for their campaign of deadly narco-terrorism against the United States and its citizens. I want to thank the men and women of our military who achieved such an extraordinary success overnight with breathtaking speed, power, precision, and competence. You rarely see anything like it. You've seen some raids in this country that didn't go so well. They were an embarrassment. If you look back to Afghanistan, or if you look back to the Jimmy Carter days, they were different days. We're a respected country again, like never before. These highly trained warriors operating in collaboration with U.S. law enforcement caught them in a very ready position. They were waiting for us. They knew we had many ships out in the sea, just sort of waiting. They knew we were coming. So they were in what's called a ready position. But they were completely overwhelmed and very quickly incapacitated. If you would have seen what I saw last night, you would have been very impressed. I'm not sure that you'll ever get to see it, but it was an incredible thing to see. Not a single American service member was killed, and not a single piece of American equipment was lost.
Wow.
We had many helicopters, many planes, many...
They just did a perfect mission. You know how hard that is? And people want to talk crap about Trump and this, that, and the other. It's the only guy really making a change. The problem is the majority of the people are feeble-minded and they're easily brainwashed by the media. It's like Stranger Things. Who did Vecna choose? He chose the feeble-minded. He's like, I chose you because I can easily control you. That's what they're doing to you, dude. Okay? You haven't had a president in how long topple a communist dictator? Do the math. Can't see it yet? I know.
Many people involved in that fight. But think of that, not one piece of military equipment was lost, not one service member was, more importantly, killed. The United States military.
So on the one hand, people say, oh, we care about human rights and we care about this. That's all a facade. You guys don't care about anything but yourselves. Because what Maduro was doing was stealing all the money from the nation, dealing drugs, torturing people. There's no work and people are starving on the street. Are you sure you're really a humanitarian? You're a follower.
Is the strongest and most fearsome military on the planet by far. With capabilities and skills our enemies can scarcely begin to imagine. We have the best equipment anywhere in the world. There's no equipment like what we have. And you see that even if you just look at the boats. You know, we've knocked out 97% of the drugs coming in by sea. 90%. Each boat kills on average, 25,000 people. We knocked out 97%. And those drugs mostly come from a place called Venezuela. We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. So we don't want to be involved with having somebody else get in, and we have the same situation that we had for the last long.
Scarborough got on the news today talking about what we're doing in Venezuela is crushing Cuba's economy. Good. That's another corrupt place run by corrupt psychopaths. They're evil. What part don't you get? The Cubans are starving to death on a daily basis, 90 miles off the tip of Florida. That needs to be destroyed and changed. It's been, 67 years, I think, of communism in Cuba? And you want to talk about, dude, I'm telling you, man, like, people are gone. There's no brain left. There's no brain.
Period of years. So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. And it has to be judicious because that's what.
One thing I don't agree with Trump is he wants to put the vice president in power. That guy's another corrupt piece of crap, dude. You can't put that guy. That's the one thing that I'm seeing. Like, okay, well, now you got this guy, and then you're gonna put in the vice president of a corrupt regime. Really? Sounds odd.
We're all about. We want peace, liberty, and justice for the great people of Venezuela. And that includes many from Venezuela that are now living in the United States and want to go back to their country. It's their homeland. We can't take a chance that somebody else takes over Venezuela that doesn't have the good of the Venezuelan people in mind. We've had decades of that. We're not going to let that happen. We're there now, and what people don't understand, but they understand as I say this, we're there now, but we're going to stay until such time as the proper transition can take place. So we're going to stay until such time as we're going to run it.
The transition needs to go to the lady that won the Nobel Peace Prize. Okay? Or the other guy that was democratically elected and the election was stolen from him. Give it to him. Give it to a capitalist. That's all you got to figure out.
Essentially, until such time as a
communist
proper transition can take place. As everyone knows, the oil business in Venezuela has been a bust, a total bust. for a long period of time. They were pumping almost nothing by comparison to what they could have been pumping and what could have taken place.
You got to pump it up. Pump it up is what Trump is telling you. And you don't want to pump it because you're a communist. And no, and then the climate change. And but my wife is over here flying in a private jet. And the hypocrisy is disgusting.
We're going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go in, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, the oil infrastructure.
And by the way, Venezuela doesn't have the best oil in the world. That's a myth. They have black tar crude oil, which is not the black gold that Trump is talking about, which is a liquid. It has to be refined. The other one's like ready to go, one less step.
And start making money for the country. And we are ready to stage a second and much larger attack if we need to do so. So we were prepared.
So if you mess around for the second time, you're going to find out again, is basically what he's telling you, okay? All right, you guys over there with your 1970 Kalashnikovs, you're going to get your ass waxed.
To do a second wave if we needed to do so. We actually assumed that a second wave would be necessary, but now it's probably not. The first wave, if you'd like to call it that, the first attack was so successful, we probably don't have to do a second, but we're prepared to do a second wave, a much bigger wave, actually.
The people just need to take to the street and take over at this point. It's just like what's happening in Iran. Iran said, you know what, man, let's take over. That's it. So we're taking over.
This was pinpoint, but we have a much bigger wave that probably won't have to do. This partnership of Venezuela with the United States of America, a country that everybody wants to be involved with because of what we were able to do and accomplish, will make the people of Venezuela rich, independent, and safe. And it will also make the many, many people from Venezuela that are living in the United States extremely happy. They suffered. So much was taken from them. They're not going to suffer.
That's a true statement. And wait till Trump finds out there's better oil off the coast of Cuba. How do I know this? I don't know. Don't ask me how I know this. But when they find that out, then they're going to say, oh, because, it's time to liberate Cuba. Because, now it's time to liberate them. Esto está de pinga. Los humanos son mierda. Okay?
For anymore. The illegitimate dictator Maduro was the kingpin of a vast criminal network responsible for trafficking colossal amounts of deadly and illicit drugs into the United States. As alleged in the indictment, he personally oversaw the vicious cartel known as Cartel de las Solas, which flooded our nation with lethal poison, responsible for the deaths of countless Americans, the many, many Americans. Hundreds of thousands over the years of Americans died because of him. Maduro and his wife will soon face the full might of American justice and stand trial on American soil. Right now, they're
full might of American justice means they're going to put them in a federal prison there, playing dominoes in a jumpsuit. It's not really that bad compared to other countries. I mean, come on.
On a ship, they'll be heading to ultimately New York, and then a decision will be made, I assume, between New York and Miami or Florida. But we have people where the overwhelming evidence of their crimes will be presented in a court of law. And I've seen it. I've seen what we have. It's
And what are you going to do? Put a liberal
it's both
judge?
horrible and breathtaking that
The
something
judge is
like
going to
this
be
could
like,
have.
I can't believe this happened to you. The liberal judge, is going to be like soft on this guy. You're going to take him to New York? I mean, think about it. Who's the judge, man? You gotta put this guy in front of like Clarence Thomas. Put him in front of good old Clarence. See what he does. You know? Appoint Clarence.
Been allowed to take place. For many years after his term as president of Venezuela expired, Maduro remained in power and waged a ceaseless campaign of violence, terror, and subversion against the United States of America, threatening not only our people, but the stability of the entire region.
Yeah.
And you all saw it. In addition to trafficking gigantic amounts of illegal drugs that inflicted untold suffering and human destruction all over the country, all over, in particular, the United States. Maduro sent savage and murderous gangs, including the bloodthirsty prison gang, Tren de Aragua, to terrorize American communities nationwide. And he did indeed. They were in Colorado. They took over apartment complexes. They cut the fingers off people if they called police. They were brutal, but they're not so brutal now. And I just have to congratulate our military, Pete and everybody, and our National Guard, because the job that they've done, whether it's in Washington, D.C., where we have a totally safe city, where it was one of the most unsafe cities anywhere in the world, frankly, and now we have no crime in Washington, D.C. We haven't had a killing. We had the terrorist attack a few weeks ago.
Kind of long-winded.
We sort of forgot about it. It was very important, but we forgot core principles of American foreign policy dating back more than 2 centuries, and not anymore. All the way back, it dated to the Monroe Doctrines.
Yep.
And the Monroe Doctrine is a big deal.
They broke the Monroe
But
Doctrine.
superseded it by a lot, by a real lot. They now call it the Donroe Document. I don't know. It's Monroe Doctrine. We sort of forgot about it. It was very important, but we forgot about it. We don't forget about it anymore. Under our new national security strategy, American dominance in the Western Hemisphere will never be questioned again.
There you go.
It won't happen.
That's proper.
So
that is the key. You can't allow the Venezuela bull crap, and even worse, you can't allow the Cuba bull crap. Can't allow it, whether you like it or not, or whether, dude, they go in there, they ally with other people, and they point the nuclears again. You can't have it. You can't. We have the biggest military in the world. The military's all over the world, but we're going to leave Cuba unchecked. 90 miles off the tip of Florida. I mean, the stupidity levels are astronomical. And then they say, oh, no, because we want to, join in Puerto Rico and this, that, and the other. Okay, fine. And what are you going to do about Cuba? What are you going to do? How many times are they going to be betrayed? I mean, this is like a dark comedy.
just in concluding, for decades, other administrations have neglected or even contributed to these growing security threats in the Western Hemisphere. Under the Trump administration, we are reasserting American power in a very powerful way in our home region. And our home region is very different than it was just a short while ago. The future will be, and we did this in my first term. We had great dominance in my first term, and we have far greater dominance right now. Everyone's coming back to us.
This is what the people, the secret cabal fears. Trump right now is leading the biggest military in the world. And all you got to do is know how to use it. All you gotta do is know how to use it. And there's no place to hide. There's no place to hide. Especially nowadays, with all the technology we have. If we really wanna do something, dude. And I will say this, because like a lot of people started talking crap about Trump, and I give him the benefit of the doubt because we don't have all the information. I mean, you don't have all the information and you don't know what's going on in this guy's life on a daily basis, then you got to pump your brakes and say, okay, well, let's wait and see what happens. So today was a major victory for Donald Trump and for America and for Venezuela. The news is going to try to spin it like he's such a terrible guy. The Venezuelans didn't want this. All this nonsense. They're going to do all the lies. That's all they do. They're the most ungrateful, uncreative, untruthful pieces of slime garbage ever. AKA haters. They hate success. They hate prosperity. They hate freedom. All they want is control, dominance, control, steal money, lie, lie, lie. That's it. Why? Because they're talentless scumbags. Zero talent.
The future will be determined by the ability to protect commerce and territory and resources that are core to national security. These are core to our national security.
Yeah.
Just like tariffs are, they've made our country rich, and they've made our national security stronger than ever before. But these are the iron laws that have always determined global power. And we're going to keep it that way. We will secure our borders. We will stop the terrorists. We will crash the cartels, and we will defend our citizens against all threats, foreign and domestic.
Yep.
Other presidents may have lacked the courage or whatever to defend America. But
the presidents were bought puppets that were in on it. And they believed and they were brainwashed by certain ideals. The other presidents had their head in their anuses.
I will never allow terrorists and criminals to operate with impunity against the United States. This extremely successful operation should serve as warning to anyone who would threaten American sovereignty or endanger American lives. Very importantly, the embargo on all Venezuelan oil remains in full effect. The American Armada remains poised in position, and the United States retains all military options until United States demands have been fully met and fully satisfied. All political and military figures in Venezuela should understand what happened to Maduro can happen to them, and it will happen to them if they aren't just fair, even to their people. The dictator and terrorist Maduro is finally gone, and Venezuela people are free. They're free again.
Yep.
It's been a long time for them, but they're free. America is a safer nation. This morning, it's a prouder nation this morning because it didn't allow this.
Rubio's back there like a long time for them. 26 years. Cuba's been under communist dictatorship for 67 years. How the United States has allowed us is a disgrace. Because a lot of people don't know like the history of what happened. And there were certain things in place, like the Monroe document. And then it wasn't really like, this is not a bash against the United States, because there's good people in the United States, and then there's also a bad faction. So there was a particular faction that wanted to establish Castro. And they funded him because you need funding to do this. You know what I mean? And then he basically did, he did the thing, and then he taught Maduro everything he knows, and he put Maduro in power. And while Fidel Castro was alive, was controlling Venezuela behind the scenes. It just is what it is. So that's why I'm telling you, like, if good people do nothing in the face of evil, nothing's going to change. You got to do something, you know. And not only that, like the businesses that can happen, the like, dude, if the United States really got their crap together and like helped these countries instead of having a conspiratorial arm trying to communize half the world, the world would be a much better place and people would be a lot happier. Okay. You know, so whatever. I'll go more deep into that one of these days.
Horrible person, and this country that was doing very bad things to us, it didn't allow it to happen. And the Western Hemisphere is right now a much safer place to be. So I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank General Raisin Kane. He's fantastic man. I've worked with a lot of generals.
Raisin Cane's, let's
I worked
go.
with some I didn't like. I worked with some I didn't respect. I worked with some that just weren't good. But this guy is fantastic. I watched last night one of the most precise attacks on sovereignty. I mean, it was an attack for justice.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of him, and I'm very proud of our Secretary of War,
A good attack.
Pete Hegseth, who I'm going to ask to say a few words. Thank you very much.
Good attack. We're actually using our force instead of manipulation.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. Finally, a commander-in-chief the world respects and the American people deserve. And as the president said, words can barely capture the bravery and the power and the precision of this historic operation. A massive joint military and law enforcement raid flawlessly executed by the greatest Americans our country has to offer. American warriors are second to none, the best in the world and the best of our country. What all of us witnessed last night was sheer guts and grit, gallantry, and glory of the American warrior.
Yeah, man.
I'm simply humbled.
I gotta say this.
By such men.
People are gonna slander this whole thing, and it's like, do people have no idea the like the technology that goes into it, the planning, the talent? I mean, these guys are trained for this. And all they catch is slander. It's like let's say you're playing baseball and it's the World Series and you beat the other team 15-0. Then they come out on the news and they say, "Yeah, well, we don't like the winning team." Instead of saying, "Wow, what a game, shut them out, 15-0." They're like, "Yeah, no, they suck." Yeah. Basically is what's happening right now, and it's mind-blowing. I can't even turn CNN on.
Such men, and I tip my hat to our chairman, Dan Raisin Kane, and all those Americans who stood watch last night. Our warriors are the elite of America, and again, President Trump has your back. No other country on planet Earth, and it's not even close, could pull this kind of operation off. And no other president has ever shown this kind of leadership, courage, and resolve. The most powerful combination the world has ever seen. As the president said, our adversaries remain on notice. America can project our will anywhere, anytime. The coordination, the stealth, the lethality, the precision, the very long arm of American justice, all on full display in the middle of the night.
Yep.
Nicolas Maduro had his chance, just like Iran had their chance, until they didn't and until he didn't.
Yep.
He effed around.
Found out.
And he found out.
Exactly.
President Trump is deadly serious about stopping the flow of gangs and violence to our country. Deadly serious about stopping the flow of drugs and poison to our people. Deadly serious about getting back the oil that was stolen from us. And deadly serious about reestablishing American deterrence and dominance in the Western Hemisphere. This is about the safety, security, freedom, and prosperity of the American people. This is America first. This is peace through strength, and the United States War Department is proud to help deliver it. Welcome to 2026, and under President Trump, America is back.
Yeah.
I'd like to welcome now our Chairman Raisin Cain, to give a few more details about the operation. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Thank you, Mr. President, and good morning. Last night, on the order of the President of the United States and in support of a request from the Department of Justice, as the President said, the United States military conducted an apprehension mission in Caracas, Venezuela, to bring to justice two indicted persons, Nicolas and Cecilia Maduro. This operation, known as Operation Absolute Resolve, was discreet, precise, and conducted during the darkest hours of January 2nd, and was the culmination of months of planning and rehearsal, an operation that, frankly, only the United States military could undertake. What I'd like to do this morning is talk to you through some of the preparation and the details without compromising any of our tactics, techniques, and procedures. There is always a chance that we'll be tasked to do this type.
Maduro's dressed like a damn Puerto Rican rapper. I don't know if you noticed.
Of mission again. Our interagency work began months ago and built on decades of experience of integrating complex air, ground, space, and maritime operations. While the past 2 decades have honed the skills of our special operations forces, this particular mission required every component of our joint force, with soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Guardians working.
You know what just happened there? Have you ever played Mortal Kombat and you just destroy the guy, they don't even touch you? And the guy says flawless victory. This is a flawless victory right here. Unbelievable. And then people still are going to complain. I mean, it's like these little sissies, man. Like, there needs to be a campaign in the United States to get healthier food so that men can have more testosterone. I really feel like there's a war on testosterone. Maybe we'll do I'm going to do a health thing. It's just that, there's so many things going on in the world. I jumped into kind of the political side of things, but
unison with our intelligence agency partners and law enforcement teammates in an unprecedented operation. We leveraged our unmatched intelligence capabilities and our years of experience in hunting terrorists, and we could not have done this mission without the incredible work by various intelligence agencies, including the CIA, NSA, and NGA. We watched, we waited, we prepared, we remained patient and professional. This mission was meticulously planned, drawing lessons from decades of missions over the last many years, many missions over these last many years. This was an audacious operation that only the United States could do. It required the utmost of precision and integration within our joint force. And the word integration does not explain the sheer complexity of such a mission. An extraction so precise, it involved more than 150 aircraft launching across the Western Hemisphere in close coordination, all coming together in time and place to layer effects for a single purpose: to get an interdiction force into downtown Caracas while maintaining the element of tactical surprise,
while simultaneously destroying their airfields and their tankers.
Failure of one component of this well-oiled machine would have endangered the entire mission, and failure is never an option for America's joint force. Those in the air over Caracas last night were willing to give their lives for those on the ground and in the helicopters. Let me talk a little bit about the preparation. After months of work by our intelligence teammates to find Maduro and understand how he moved, where he lived, where he traveled, what he ate, what he wore, what were his pets, in early December, our force was set pending a series of aligned events. Key was choosing the right day to minimize the potential for civilian harm and maximize the element of surprise and minimize the harm to the indicted personnel so, as the president said, they could be brought to justice. And as the president said earlier today, weather in Venezuela is always a factor this time of the year. And over the weeks through Christmas and New Year's, the men and women of the United States military sat ready, patiently waiting for the right triggers to be met and the president to order us into action. Last night, the weather broke just enough, clearing a path that only the most skilled aviators in the world could maneuver through. Ocean, mountain, low cloud ceilings. But when tasked with a mission, this organization does not quit. At 10:46 p.m. Eastern Time last night, the president ordered the United States military to move forward with this mission. He said to us, and we appreciate it, Mr. President, good luck and Godspeed. And those words were transmitted to the entire joint force. Over the course of the night, aircraft began launching from 20 different bases on land and sea across the Western Hemisphere. In total, more than 150 aircraft, bombers, fighters, intelligence, reconnaissance, surveillance, rotary wing were in the air last night. Thousands and thousands of hours of experience were airborne. Our youngest crew member was 20, and our oldest crew member was 49. And there's simply no match for American military might. As the night began, the helicopters took off with the extraction force, which included law enforcement officers, and began their flight into Venezuela at 100 feet above the water. As they approached Venezuelan shores, the United States began layering different effects provided by Spacecom, Cybercom, and other members of the interagency to create a pathway. Overhead, those forces were protected by aircraft from the United States Marines, the United States Navy, the United States Air Force, and the Air National Guard. The force included F-22s, F-35s, F-18s, EA-18s, E-2s, B-1 bombers, and other support aircraft, as well as numerous remotely piloted drones.
They had the stealth bomber ready. That means if they would have tried to retaliate, bruh, I mean, he's lucky he turned himself in.
As the force began to approach Caracas, the Joint Air Component began dismantling and disabling the air defense systems in Venezuela, employing weapons to ensure the safe passage of the helicopters into the target area. The goal of our air component was, and always will be to protect the helicopters and the ground force and get them to the target and get them home. As the force crossed the last point of high terrain where they'd been hiding in the clutter, we assessed that we had maintained totally the element of surprise. As the helicopter force ingressed towards the objective at low level, we arrived at Maduro's compound at 1:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 2:01 a.m. Caracas local time, and the apprehension force descended into Maduro's compound and moved with speed, precision, and discipline towards their objective, and isolated the area to ensure the safety and security of the ground force while apprehending the indicted persons. On arrival into the target area, the helicopters came under fire, and they replied with that fire with overwhelming force in self-defense. One of our aircraft was hit, but remained flyable, and as the president said earlier today, all of our aircraft came home, and that aircraft remained flyable during the rest of the mission. As the operation unfolded at the compound, our air and ground intelligence teams provided real-time updates to the ground force, ensuring those forces could safely navigate the complex environment without unnecessary risk. The force remained protected by overhead tactical aviation. Maduro and his wife, both indicted, gave up and were taken into custody by the Department of Justice, assisted by our incredible U.S. military with professionalism and precision, with no loss of U.S. life. After securing the indicted persons, the force began to prep for departure. Helicopters were called in to exfiltrate the extraction force, while fighter aircraft and remotely piloted aircraft provided overhead coverage and suppressive fire. There were multiple self-defense engagements as the force began to withdraw out of Venezuela. The force successfully exfiltrated and returned to their afloat launch bases, and the force was over the water at 3:29 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with indicted persons on board. And both Maduro and his wife were embarked aboard the USS Iwo Jima. In closing, what we've witnessed today is a powerful demonstration of America's joint force.
Yep.
We think, we develop, we train, we rehearse, we debrief, we rehearse again and again, not to get it right.
Nicolas Maduro was indicted in 2020 in the United States. He is not the legitimate president of Venezuela. That's not just us saying it. The first Trump administration, the Biden administration, the second Trump administration, none of those three recognized him. He's not recognized by the European Union and multiple countries around the world. He is a fugitive of American justice.
He's a scumbag. And the left-wing media of this
with
country,
a $50 million reward,
what idiot.
Which I guess we saved $50 million. And
make sure.
Yeah, exactly. But
don't let anybody claim it. Nobody deserves it but us.
But I want to be clear about one thing. Nicolas Maduro had multiple opportunities to avoid this. He was provided multiple very, very, very generous offers and chose instead to act like a wild man, chose instead to play around. And the result is what we saw tonight. The other message here is the following. You have a guy, like many people around the world, they like to play games. You have a guy who decides he's going to invite Iran into his country, is going to, do the confiscation of American oil companies, is going to flood our country with gang members, is going to take Americans prisoner and try to hold them for hostage and trade them like he was able to do with the Biden administration. Basically likes to play games all this time and thinks nothing's going to happen. And I hope what people now understand is that we have a president. The 47th president of the United States is not a game player. When he tells you that he's going to do something, when tells you he's going to address a problem, he means it. He actions it. I can tell you, I've watched this process now for 14, 15 years, been around it. Everybody talks. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. When I get there, we're going to do this. We're going to take. This is a president of action. Like, I don't understand yet how they haven't figured this out. And now, if you don't know, now you know. Because this is the way it's going to play out, and I think people need to understand that this is not a president that just...
If you don't know, now you know. This is what it is. Trump is back, dude. Trump is back.
And does letters and press conferences, and if he says he's serious about something, he means it. And this is something that was a direct threat to the national interest of the United States, and the president addressed it. There's a president of peace, by the way. I told you what I just said earlier. This guy had multiple opportunities.
Trump's been doing push-ups, sit-ups. Okay, he's got a new protein shake, bro. All right, they're hitting him with a little bit of HGH. All right, he's doing squats. He changed from the Big Mac to the grilled chicken sandwich over at Mickey D's. All right. And you know what he did? He got rid of the Diet Coke and he's drinking the unsweet tea. This guy ain't playing, bro. This guy is not playing now.
Opportunities to find his way somewhere else and figure out another. He could have been living somewhere else right now, very happy, but instead he wanted to play big boy. And so now, he's got other sets of problems on his hands. And but I think the message here should be for the world. Look, the president doesn't go out looking for people to pick fights with. He's not generally wants to get along with everybody. We'll talk and meet with anybody, but don't play games. Don't play games with this president's in office, because it's not going to turn out well. And so I hope that I guess that lesson was learned last night, and we hope it'll be instructive moving forward.
So there you go, dude. There you go, guys. Look at this, and now look at the people.
The real reason you're stiff after...
Hold on a second.
You can live a very long time.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
How this family can
eat
whatever
bills.
they want.
You pay your bills.
Is that your mom? No, that's my grandma.
Oh, the people don't like it. Hold on. What the hell's going on here? This is CNN for you, just so you understand what's going on. Oh, he shouldn't have did this. This is terrible. Oh, well, because I think that uh the people didn't want this. And okay, now look at the actual facts of the people. Okay, these people just regained their freedom from a communist dictating scumbag stealing all their money. Which part bothers you? Which part? Look, look, look. Let me remind you. Look. Fine, let's see. Barbecue.
¿Cuándo? Sí, el 800.
Drink. You know what they're saying? Iyakayo. That means and now he fell. And now he fell. They're happy, dude. They're happy. This is what the brainwashed Americans, they don't get it. They don't get it. They don't understand how bad it can get. They don't realize, like, they're just... I can't deal with people, man. They're saying he fell from power. He fell from power. They're ecstatic. They're happy. Okay, Scarborough. Okay, I don't know. Don Lemon's probably got something to say, and all the typical sociopathic, left-wing, brainwashed, communist, idealistic freaks. So in closing, does that look like people who are sad?
Watch what apples do to our body.
Trail mix.
First ingredient, peanuts.
God, how do you turn this off? People that...
Do you owe over $10,000 in
No,
back
I
taxes?
don't.
Kevin Sorbo here.
So, yeah, sure. Everything they do is garbage. So listen, congratulations to Venezuela, man. 26 years is a long time. Cuba's been communist for 67. 90 miles off the tip of Florida. Don't nobody care. Don't nobody care. So let's see what happens there. All I know is from a strategic standpoint, can't allow that place to be taken over, infiltrated. People pointing stuff at us. Can't fly, dude. Can't fly. Man, it's pretty simple. Not only that, if Cuba was free, all these people that, I'm going to go travel to Fiji and Tahiti, and they just go to Cuba. Shut up and just go to Cuba. You'll be all right. You'll love it. Oh, because I want to go to Bora Bora. Oh, because I want to go here and there in the French Polynesian Islands, and I want to be on a plane for 24 hours. How about you just jump on a plane anywhere in the United States, and you hit Cuba in less than 5 hours? From California to Cuba is what, 5 hours? I've been to Monaco. You know how beautiful the land of Cuba is. The number one tourist destination from one of the richest places in the world, which is Monaco, is to Cuba. How come they want to go there? Oh, gee, I don't know. They have springs, rivers, ocean, four seasons, mountains. You got everything in one island. It even snows in certain parts of Cuba. In the Caribbean. I want to go to Fiji. Fiji. You have no idea. That's my 2 cents. You guys have a blessed night, all right?